Charcoal is the result of heating or charring an organic substance, such as wood, at a very high temperature. The dense, dark substance that results is primarily composed of carbon. As a drawing medium, charcoal is generally available in two types: compressed charcoal and vine charcoal. Compressed charcoal is the heavier of the two types. It is found in stick or pencil form with a clay binder added. Compressed charcoal is a relatively unforgiving medium in that it gets very dark very quickly. Once it has been applied to the paper, it tends to be very difficult to erase. Because this medium is so soft and dark, it's almost impossible to erase back to the white of the paper. A firm rubber eraser is best for erasing the thickest areas, and a kneadable eraser is better for erasing lighter applications. Some artists even use a kneadable eraser to soften or smudge the heavy medium around the surface of the paper. Käthe Kollwitz was a German draftsperson who lived through both World Wars in Europe. She lost children and friends in the two world wars, and her later life self-portraits were psychologically charged studies of a woman nearing the end of a difficult life. These emotionally bare drawings are made all the more powerful by the darkness and moodiness of the medium. This drawing, entitled "The Call of Death," serves as an allegory to the literal hand of death coming to claim the soul of the weary artist. Vine charcoal is both harder and physically lighter than compressed charcoal. For this reason, it is much lighter in value. If compressed charcoal can be applied to a 100% black, vine charcoal may only reach a 60 or 70% gray. Vine charcoal is much more forgiving than compressed charcoal, though, because it can be easily erased by any of the aforementioned erasers. Charcoal is also available in a fine powdered form, and like vine charcoal, charcoal powder goes on the support much lighter than compressed charcoal. For this reason, artists will often use vine or powdered charcoal as the underlayer of a drawing with compressed charcoal on top. White chalk can also be applied to the surface of a charcoal drawing to create areas of highlight. Like white chalk, chalk pastel generally uses inert chalk as a binder to hold powdered pigments into a solid stick. Chalk pastel has a similar powdery softness to compressed charcoal. It can be erased more easily than compressed charcoal, but not as easily as vine charcoal. The chalk in chalk pastel gives the pigment a slightly muted or matted appearance. This is why certain muted colors are referred to as being pastels. The French Impressionist Edgar Degas made many chalk pastel studies in the late 19th century. His intimate drawings were often of subjects like ballerinas and female bathers. The matted pastel colors help convey the softness of early morning light. Oil pastels are a relative of the wax crayons that you may remember from childhood. They are composed of pigment suspended in a non-drying oil and wax binder. The oil and wax as binders make the colors of oil pastels much more vibrant than those of chalk pastels. Like oil paint, oil pastels can be layered in a way that chalk pastels cannot. While powdery chalk pastels never get far from the surface of a drawing, oil pastels apply much thicker and can create instances of actual texture. For this reason, though, oil pastels are much more difficult to erase. Erasers will often just smear the medium or smudge the pigment into the paper. Beverly Buchanan is a contemporary African-American artist who uses oil pastels to explore aspects of her southern rural tradition. Her work has a playfulness that embraces the inherent messiness of the medium. Like Yoshimoto Nara, she adopts a children's art aesthetic that attempts to view the world through the fresh eyes of youth. All of these dry media can be fixed to their support through the use of aerosol spray fixatives. When applied in thin, even coats, spray fixatives stop dry media from smudging, smearing, or rubbing off of the surface. Like varnishes for paintings, spray fixatives also protect the media from moisture, sunlight, and time. Even after fixing their drawings, artists will often store their work sandwiched between clean sheets of acid-free paper. This helps to further ensure that the delicate work will not be damaged or altered in any way.